You're listening to the Vint Wine Podcast, where you'll hear interviews and stories from around the wine world. From writers and critics to winemakers and sommeliers, we'll explore the people and businesses who are instrumental in shaping wine culture. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Questions. In these quick conversations, we highlight the world-class writers, winemakers, and sommeliers featured on our full-length episodes in a quick 5-question format. We hope you learn a little bit more about the wine world and the people and companies that make it run. Enjoy. All right, we're here with 5 Questions with Alban Debeaulieu of Abbott Claim. Thanks so much for joining today.
Thanks for having me.
You are the head winemaker at Abbott Claim. Can you share where your vineyards are located and what varieties you work with?
Yeah, the Abbott Claim Vineyards was planted back in 2001, mostly to Pinot Noir. It is in the Yamhill-Carlton AVA in the Willamette Valley of Oregon. We also have a second property called Lily Springs in the Eola-Amity Hills, which is planted to Chardonnay and Pinot Noir.
Question number 2. If someone has never heard about Abbott Claim, what is the first thing you would want a wine enthusiast to know?
Simply that the wines that we make here are of this place and therefore cannot be made from anywhere else. So the wines that come from Abbott Claim taste like Abbott Claim. From the estate vineyards, the wines that come from Lily Springs, or the wines that come from the few other properties where we source a little bit of Chardonnay, like Ex-Omni or Temperance Hill, those wines taste like nothing else but those vineyards. At least it is what drives our work every day. So there's just no comp. There's nothing like it.
Perfect. Question number 3. What are some wine regions or styles outside of Oregon that inspire you?
French, I grew up mostly enjoying Northern Rhone-Syrah and Loire Valley Chenin Blanc. Those are still today maybe my favorite wines. And having studied in Burgundy and today working in Burgundy as well, making some wine there, it is hard not to always have an eye towards Burgundy. I mean, it remains the benchmark for the great wines of this world.
Question number 4. Which vintages have stood out to you over the years and why? And this can be either high quality wines, difficult harvest, anything like that.
In Oregon, for me, still today, my favorite vintage is 2019. A lot of people have called 2019 a difficult vintage because there was rain around harvests. But ultimately, low crop, long growing season, cool nights, cool weather around harvest, perfect concentration, energy, freshness in the wine's depth. We've never made better wines than in 2019, except maybe in 2024, but those wines have yet to be bottled. 2019 and 2024 are potentially the two best vintages of the last 10 years here in Oregon. But interestingly, one was quite a bit more difficult than the other.
And we get into it a little bit more in our longer interview, but can you share a little bit about what the 2025 growing season has been like?
Yeah, the beginning of 2025 was fairly uneventful with an average bloom. Some areas of the Willamette Valley maybe saw a bit of cool and humid weather during bloom, giving poor fruit sets and smaller yields. But overall, a fairly uneventful growing season until we got into July and started seeing a strong powdery mildew pressure, which we managed quite well. And finally, a strong heat event in late August, which maybe gave us a little bit of dehydration and burn in some vineyards and thicker skins. We're seeing maybe lower juice yields as well. But ultimately, I think we're in for a highly qualitative vintage.
Would you say it's a better year for Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, or are they about equal?
The Pinot Noirs just are starting to ferment, and for me, it is so difficult to make a call on the quality of Pinot Noir before I see the quality of tannin coming out of fermentation and extraction. So far, I would say equal.
Perfect. Everybody should stay tuned then and make a decision once they're bottled. Question number 5. Looking forward, what is on the roadmap for Abbott Claim?
We do have a few things going on. We have a young vineyard in the Eola-Amity Hills called the Lily Springs, and that is planted to either complex field blends of clones in any given block. I planted 12 clones of Pinot Noir, 14 clones of Chardonnay, and today we're doing Massal selections from old vines in the Eola-Amity hills from neighboring vineyards that we are planting at fairly high elevations, 900, soon 1,100 feet, which is the top of the property there. Very windy, steep, rocky sites. So that site is quite spectacular and will end up yielding wines that are of uncompromising personality in the future. We cannot wait to see what Lily Springs yields in the future. I was just in conversation earlier with some colleagues of mine in the Willamette Valley who will be sourcing small amounts of fruit from Lily Springs and to help us explore and understand what that new barren terroir is like.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to try those myself. Last little bonus question here. If anyone wants to come and visit Abbott Claim, do you guys have a tasting room? Can they just come to the winery?
We don't have a tasting room per se, but yes, people are welcome to come and visit by appointment. We've set up a few tables in the cellar down underground where the barrels are. People end up sitting down and tasting where we make wine. So it's a very simple and very honest experience when people come and visit.
Perfect. I personally think those are the best. Well, thank you so much. This has been 5 Questions with Alban Debeaulieu.